on changing locations and shit. Man, into this motherfucking bag. Stand up the way I made. Sacrificing time for this shit, man, I got a plan. Tried to tell niggas years ago, they ain't understand. Riding by myself and it's cool, I'm all in my head. Everything in life you can't replace, I build relationships. Pretty little smile make a nigga wanna lock it in. We met the same time I lost a friend, we should try again. You been on my mind, you should hop in. I ain't gon' hurt you, baby girl, you know we locked in. Used to be on FaceTime calls on the regular. Never made time, landed on my busy schedule. Now every time I hit the bay, you know I think of you. Working on your brand, love, you know that I...
Yeah, it's Goddess. And I'm a day one type of girl. Ain't nothing wishy-washy over here. I don't jump around, stick to one side. Yeah, the silver, the blue, we got them in their feelings. That star on the field, come pay the D a visit. They say it's hatred, is it? I call it hate and simping. Cause if we wasn't that hating, they wouldn't be in our business. Listen, West Coast say the water tastes better. The fan base go harder, and all the ladies get wetter. Yeah, that's how it is when you straight reppin' for Dallas. We get it in the trap, and landlord tell us what's happening. No explanations in no shape, form, or fashion. When Henny drop the stats, ain't nothing else to be asking. Them numbers don't lie, that's why your argument dry. And we still got them rings, you got your eyes on our prize. Whether an eagle, a giant, or a commando, you in the parking lot crying, we in the Lambo. We stay in our bag, we run it up in the draft. You still talking about the 90s, so who's stuck in the past? Get off me, and I'ma need you 6 feet back. And we ain't hearing nothing till your team beat that. And we ain't scared of running, what you thought we bleed that? It's only one team over here, that's Cowboys, believe that. Yeah, this you got is the poet. Big up West Coast Cowboy, HTM Sports, and Landlord from Alabama. Y'all check them boys out. Now don't play around with the Cowboys content. Yeah, and you know it's DC. Yeah, DC 4L.
31 teams in the NFL. His system is designed to stop 25 teams.
Shit, I need a linebacker that's over 200 pounds. I need a defensive tackle that you got to pull away from the buffet. He's gone, so no.
Let's talk about that.
But yeah, that's a large part. That's a large part of your
I gotta
team.
make this point because I ain't gonna lie, I forgot about it until you mentioned it. So I gotta get this off before it flees me, and the nation needs to hear this.
What's good with y'all, man? It's your boy Henny DeMoore reporting live from the liquor store. Hope all is well. And listen, happy weekend, man. You know, some of y'all done had a long ass work week. Some of y'all done worked full tens. Some of y'all done worked, you know, every single day with overtime. Some of y'all ain't got bosses that are reasonable people, you know. So we gonna tap in today, man. It's the liquor store. You know, we gonna get a little bit tipsy. I don't want y'all to get drunk and try and drive, man. Don't drink and drive. But you can slide in here. You can get you an Uber. You can take you a shot. You know, you can, you know, do what you want to do, man. So tap in with us in the liquor store, man, and we gonna make it happen. And listen, JV, me and Boss had a discussion on the phone before I jumped on here. We're going to talk through it later on because I got a doctor's appointment later. After I come back from my doctor's appointment, we're gonna do a whole nother show, and me and Boss gonna talk through it on Zach Orr. We're gonna talk through it. We're gonna really talk through it about everybody. You know what I'm saying? So tune in to that. But what we're going to talk about today is all of the doomsday scenarios that are possible when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator search. Because anything can happen. Anybody that they talk to, you know, has a percentile chance of becoming the Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator. And we're going to talk through it. We're going to talk through all the different doomsday scenarios that could happen. But salute to my brother JV B-Boy, always here, always supporting, always showing love. I appreciate you, my guy. Salute to my guy King G in the building, always doing the same. John Cofield, my guy ISO Cowboys in the building. Salute to you. Who else is in here with us, man? Let me see. Who else is tapped in with us in the liquor store, man? All right. And listen, if you have not commented yet, I don't know you're here. So y'all say hi in the chat box so I can show y'all some love, man. Y'all deserve all the love and admiration. But also, I need y'all to do me a big favor. Normally, I lead with telling y'all to hit the like button. But for some reason, I don't think YouTube is notifying the folks that are subbed to the page that the liquor store is live, man. So the first order of business, even before you hit the like button, is to hit the share button. Hit the share button and invite more people into the liquor store, man. Hit the like button and invite more people into the liquor store, man. Because they is really hating us out right now. They ain't letting y'all, they ain't letting a lot of y'all know that we are live right now, man. So share the content. And remember, we are still practicing manifestation. So share the content 7 times. We're going to manifest that 7th championship. We're going to manifest championship number 6 and 7 for the Dallas Cowboys. So share it 7 times. You can put it in 7 different Facebook groups. Send it to 7 different family members. Send it to 7 different haters. It don't really matter, man. Just share the content willy-nilly, and we going to get some more folks in here. Hit that like button. You know, it helps with the algorithm. And for the love of God, slap the shit out of an Eagles fan. Because you know they deserve it, man. And also, you know, if you want to help keep the lights on in the liquor store, if you want to buy a bottle, you know, if you want to, you know, support, because we ain't got no sponsorships yet. I ain't going to hold you. We be trying. We done reached out to different people. They ain't fucking with us. You know what I'm saying? So, y'all fuck with us. So, you want to help keep the lights on in the liquor store, please hit the Cash App. Please hit the Super Chat. You know, please hit the sub button. You know, please hit the memberships. And y'all know my mantra. If you pay, we will stay. We will always give a good show. But if you want a long-ass show, you know, hit the Cash Apps and hit the Super Chats, man. I appreciate y'all for everything in advance. And let's go ahead and just dive headfirst into the shit. But salute to look at Mel though, and salute to Reggie in the building too, man. Salute to Thomas. I see all y'all sliding in. My brother Devin in the building. We got your name right this time. Devin, just like Devin the dude. So salute to my brother. But yeah, man, let's go ahead and dive head first into the content. And yes, I am. I got a doctor's appointment later. So you know, I got time. I got time to rock with y'all. So let's start with the first Doomsday scenario. What if Aaron White-Cotton ends up becoming the Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator pick? Now, I get it. It would break my heart. It should break your heart. If Aaron White-Cotton becomes the Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator, that one's going to sting. But if we're being 1,000 and we're being real, and we know the way that this team has historically operated, is it that crazy? Is it that outlandish? Is it that against the grain for what the Dallas Cowboys normally do? Because when you look at the track record of the Dallas Cowboys, by the way, you know, one thing that looks a little fishy to me, Aaron White-Cotton has been designated as the defensive coordinator, you know, for the Shrine Bowl, which will be held here, you know, well, not held here because I'm not in there, but it'll be held at Frisco. It'll be held at the Star, the Shrine Bowl, 27th of this month. It's going to air like 5 or 6 o'clock. We should definitely tap in and look at it. There'll be a whole bunch of great prospects. The Dallas Cowboys do, in fact, draft a lot of guys from the Shrine Bowl and the Senior Bowl, right? And salute to my brother D. Holmes in the building, man. Said, what up, Henny? Tapping in for the win. I appreciate you for the love, my brother. Thank you for sliding in and supporting the liquor store. I appreciate you, my guy. But yeah, he's going to be the defensive coordinator, you know, for the Shrine Bowl, which the Dallas Cowboys pretty much oversee. It's going to be at the Star at Frisco. Now, the reason why I think it's a possibility is not because I like him. Because remember, I do not believe you should reward a coach or a player for mediocrity. If you don't play good football, you should not be rewarded with more minutes and more snaps. If you do not elevate your talent as a coach at the position that you're currently in, you should not be in line for a promotion. I do not personally believe the Dallas Cowboys defensive line has done enough to look at Aaron Whitecotton as a feasible candidate to be a defensive coordinator, right? I do not think he should get a promotion for the job that he did with the defensive line. Dante Fowler went from 10.5 sacks to, 3, 2? If I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but it was not great. Donovan Izaraku had the deepest bag of any, pass rusher in the draft, Ken, that shit do not work when you on the couch with us, nigga. Hold on. My brother Ken forgot that they was one and done, like a D1 prospect out of college. Like you went to Kentucky, you niggas were one and done. You was in Cancun, my boy. The Dallas Cowboys gonna play the Packers this week in the Cancun Bowl, nigga. Yeah, that's what we played this week. We play y'all this week in the Cancun Bowl, my boy. That gonna throw 50 touchdowns to y'all niggas on the beach. Yeah, he gonna light y'all defense up, man. That gonna be full of margaritas and Hennessy and throw 7 touchdowns out that hoe. Yeah, we playing y'all in the Cancun Bowl and we gonna win. We gonna drop another 40 burger on y'all niggas, man. What my boy talking about? You cannot troll when you on the beach with us, man. You on the beach with us. We big boy chilling in Cancun. So salute to my brother Ken, man. I don't know what Ken talking about. Yeah, you can't troll when you on vacation with us, man. That's what we play y'all. Yeah, he asked what we playing. We play the Packers, nigga. But salute to my brother Ken, man. I fuck with Ken. That's my dog, man. But yeah, man. Like Aaron Whitecotton does fit the mold for what the Dallas Cowboys generally do. And when I say that, internal elevation. What do all 3 of these guys have in common? What do all 3 of these guys pictured have in common for the Dallas Cowboys? They were here. They were elevated. Jason Garrett went from backup quarterback to offensive coordinator, interior head coach, to full-time head coach. You have Kellen Moore, went from backup quarterback, and his was more egregious. If you're talking about just the way that shit happened and the speed that it moved with, the Kellen Moore stuff was way more egregious than even the Jason Garrett stuff, right? Because Jason Garrett, at least he had some high-powered offenses and stuff like that, right? Before he became the interim head coach. Like, he literally went from backup quarterback to quarterbacks coach to offensive coordinator in a 3-year span. Right? That's how it happened with Kellen Moore. Then Shotty, I rock with Shotty. But his elevation within the Dallas Cowboys organization was quick as hell. Offensive analyst, offensive coordinator for 2 years, then head coach. Just like that. The Dallas Cowboys have a track record with elevating guys that they know that are currently on the staff. They do. And salute, hold on, somebody just hit me with a beautiful cash app. Tish said for content. I should have read that first. Salute for the cash app to my supporter. Thank you for the love and the support. I ain't gonna finish that. I caught it. I read it. I ain't gonna finish what I was finna say. Thank you for the love. And then they said they tell Jerry yes as much as he wants to hear. And listen, what do we say about the Dallas Cowboys and their track record though, man? Like, they love these kind of guys because let me put this on full screen so I can talk y'all through this. They love saying that we made you. They love having the leverage to say, we made you. We made you what you are in the National Football League. They made Jason Garrett. And to Jason Garrett's credit, say what you want about the Clapper. He did become Coach of the Year at one point. He did get the highest honor a coach can get at an individual standpoint. He was thought of as the best coach in the NFL for one season. I think it was 2014 that he got the honor of being the NFL Coach of the Year, right? So they made Jason Garrett. They took him from a backup quarterback, because he was Troy Aikman's backup, went from a backup quarterback to an OC to the interim head coach to the full-time head coach to Coach of the Year. And, you know, he had a couple good seasons in there, right? Our best chances, and believe it or not, because this is not me caping for Jason Garrett, he had to go, right? There was too many inconsistencies. There were too many 8-8 seasons. There was too many, you know, debacles that happened under Jason Garrett for him to stay. But the 2 seasons where you had your best chance of going on was under Jason Garrett. 2014, the Dez Carter game, and the 2016, the 3rd and 20 conversion on Aaron Rodgers. When we had a number 1 seed, we had home field advantage. Dak was Rookie of the Year. Ezekiel Elliott had the rushing title. Dez was back and healthy in the postseason. We had everything lined up for us. And Aaron Rodgers broke our hearts. Those 2 seasons, the closest that we got to going to the NFC Championship game, because we were just a play away each time, happened under Jason Garrett, right? But point being, they feel like they have success doing the shit. They liked it, Jason Garrett. They loved Kellen Moore. And even to that extent, to their defense on that, Kellen Moore went somewhere and won a Super Bowl as an offensive coordinator and became a head coach and has not done such a bad job as a head coach, you know, that you can't foresee what they saw in him. You know what I'm saying? So they love it. They love it. In the Dallas Cowboys' mind, they have a great track record at doing it. So I would not be surprised if they did make Aaron White Cotton, you know, the defensive coordinator. Right? And I'm not saying that he can't do it. I'm just saying that it would be poor to course for the Dallas Cowboys. Like, this is what they do. But one thing I will not stand for, another doomsday scenario that we got to talk about, is allowing another retread to come in here and fuck this defense up. Allowing another retread to come in here and be lackadaisical just so they can have some comfort, just so they can have a comfort level. Say Garrett used to piss me. He used to piss everybody off. You know, all he used to do was stand on the sideline and good job. No matter what happened. Pick 6. Strip sack. Red zone turnover. He just gonna sit his ass there and clap. All right, we done, Jay. My grandson was clapping in the background. But yeah, that's all he used to do was clap. That's all he used to do. But yeah, like, we can't let this happen. We can't let this baby back bullshit get on our team, man. This is Jonathan Gannon. This is another doomsday scenario for the Dallas Cowboys. This is another doomsday scenario for the Dallas Cowboys. Because if we're just talking about what he brings to the table, they're not lying on his name when they say he Eberflus 2.0, man. They are not lying on his name when they say that he's Eberflus 2.0. He doesn't blitz. He doesn't do a lot of disguises. He plays, you know, top 10% of the zone in the National Football League. Matter of fact, I think I can add that in. Because listen, this is him overseeing a team. Offense was bad. Defense was 31st. Special teams wasn't special. You know what I'm saying? This is what he's done. Like, the Cardinals was bad when he got there, and somehow he still made them worse. The Cardinals are worse off now having Jonathan Gannon than they were before they hired him. Hold on, let me add this shit into the channel because y'all got to see this shit. Y'all got to see this shit. And salute to my brother Numbhead Neil in the building, man. He said, "What's up, Henny? Slapped up 68 Eagles fans before heading to work and checking in." Man, that's love right there, man. Salute to my brother Numbhead Neil in the building. Hold on. Let's get this right. Let's get this right. Because, some folks will argue with you like, hey, man, I get it. The Cardinals was bad, but he wasn't the defensive coordinator then, Henny. He didn't call defensive plays, Henny. I get it. All right, that's fair. I'm fair. I don't try and drag people when they don't deserve it. And salute to my brother King G in the building, man. He said for some overtime on the show. Listen, man, y'all know my mantra. If you pay, I will stay. Yeah, I'm going to be in here for a little bit, man. I got y'all. It just, like I said, it's just like the parking meter. If y'all enjoy the content and you want more content, just hit a cash out, hit a super chat, and, they'll buy you some more time. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all in advance. But y'all don't want this in here. Y'all can't sit here and complain about what Matt Eberflus did for 17 games. You had 17 games of heavy zone. You have 17 games of not blitzing. You had 17 games of not disguising. You had 17 games of blown coverages. And you can't sit here and tell me you want that again. You can't tell me you want that. Because remember, folks always point to the 2022 season for Jonathan Gannon and what they like about him. His defense was getting belt to ass 2021. We beat the fuck out the Eagles every time we played them. They got blew out in the playoffs when they made it. They were a bad defense in 2021. He had 1 year of having a good defense, and that defense was so loaded to the gills and packed to the gills with talent, I could have called the motherfucker. So when you look at how much he played man coverage, they were bottom of the league. And we got corners that still specialize in man-to-man coverage. When the run Bland comes back, he's still going to struggle in zone because he's a damn man corner. When Siobhan Revel comes out that big mechanical-ass knee brace he got on, he's still going to prefer to play man coverage because he's a press man corner. Right? This man still don't play no man coverage. He don't play man coverage. He a zone merchant just like Eberflus. He don't speed up the process of the quarterback operation. They could go 1, 2, 3 in halftime because he rushed 4 at an astounding rate. He got one of the lowest blitz percentages in the National Football League. So he plays majority zone. He don't blitz. He don't disguise. He line up in a stagnant offense. He does not give you a schematical advantage against quarterbacks. So why would I want that? And I just lived through that. I just lived through it. I wish Landlord was in the building with us, man. Put in the chat box. We not going back. We just flushed Flus. We not going back to no baby back bullshit like this. We ain't going back to no stagnant, uninspired, elementary coverage playing ass scheme. We're not doing that whole shit. We're not doing that whole shit over here, man. He can go. I don't listen. It was already a no for me when I seen you punch the play on the sideline. Ain't no nigga in Dallas going for that. Listen, man. Javonte Williams would have beat his whole ass on the spot if he had punched him on the damn sideline. Dak Prescott still be beating his ass right now if he got punched on the sideline by a goddamn Jonathan Gannon. You know what Jordan Pickens would have did. Jordan Pickens be in jail the way he would have got on his ass. We don't need this in Dallas. Don't come here. Listen, I'll be 1,000 with y'all. I get sick and tired of hearing about reports that motherfucking Brian Flores is too gruff and he don't fit in to the country club mentality, and that's why they don't want to bring him in. But you'll bring in this bitch ass nigga. You'll bring in John Gannon, little hoe ass. Nah, man, I don't want to hear that shit. You talk about not interviewing the most qualified guy because he's gruff, but you'll bring in a bitch ass nigga that want to put hands on his player. Nah, man, fuck that. I don't want to hear that shit. And listen, I'm hoping that my parents ain't watching, because I told them I stopped cussing, but they be running my blood pressure up so bad, man, it infuriates me. So y'all forgive me. Y'all please forgive me. Mom, Dad, you know, if y'all hear me out here going crazy on these folks, you know, they did it to themselves, man. So my apologies in advance. You know, I gotta apologize to my parents because they get me out of character so bad with the stuff they be doing, man. So no. And my boy Neil said Evil Flu system is known as the bitch made scheme. I agree with you. So nah. But listen, it's possible. It's possible that Aaron White Cotton becomes the Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator. It is possible, you know, that Jonathan Gannon becomes the Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator. You know what else is possible? It's possible that all of the good coordinators that we actually interviewed end up going to greener pastures, right? Because there are still, let's count them. Let's count like it's Sesame Street. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 head coaching jobs. Ha ha ha. Nah, for real though. There's 8 head coaching jobs right now, man. And it's not, and let's just walk through this. Not even the people that we already interviewed, because there's still good candidates out there we haven't talked to. The Brian Flores, we haven't talked to Brian Flores yet. Raheem Morris, we have not talked to Raheem Morris yet. Jim Schwartz, we ain't talked to Jim Schwartz yet. Those are 3 guys that I covet. I would love either one of them. I went back, I did my due diligence on Jim Schwartz. I was wrong. He does blitz way more than I thought he did. You know, he's top 15 in blitz percentage the last 3 years. He plays a lot of man coverage. So I was wrong about Jim Schwartz. I had to go back and look at that. I was wrong. Jim Schwartz is somebody that I would not mind the Dallas Cowboys courting and bringing in for an interview, and him being the long-term answer at the Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator spot. I was wrong about Jim Schwartz, and I am never, you know, above saying when I'm wrong or I was mistaken. You know, I think that's why y'all rock with me, because I always try to be as transparent, as real as possible. My initial analysis of Jim Schwartz was wrong. I had to update my information. I went and looked, you know, I went and got my NFL Pro back, and I looked, at some of the Browns snaps in their games. I went and looked at advanced metrics. His defense works. His defense will work with what we're doing. So I had to put him back on there. But what I said all that to say this. Jim Schwartz is somebody that could possibly get a head coaching job. Brian Flores is somebody that could possibly get a head coaching job. Raheem Morris is somebody that could possibly get a head coaching job. Right? And there's a domino effect to them getting those jobs. Brian Flores. Who is Brian Flores second in command for the past couple years? If Brian Flores is the Don of the defense, who is his capo? Who is his right-hand man? Who is his underboss? Put in the chat box if you know. If Brian Flores is the Don, who is Brian Flores' underboss? Who has been his understudy all these years? Put it in the chat box. Y'all don't miss shows. I know that y'all are, well adept. I know that y'all know the answer. Who has Brian Flores been grooming these past couple of years and been soaking up game and learning his scheme? Who is Brian Flores' underboss? Put it in the chat box. I need some clap participation. Put in the chat box. Put in the chat box. Because I know y'all know who is under Brian Flores right now, and he's been getting groomed by him. DJ Durante Jones. Durante Jones, right? Because remember, there is always a butterfly effect, that happens. If Brian Flores gets the Pittsburgh job, who is the most likely candidate to be his defensive coordinator? It's Durante. It's Durante Jones. It's the same person that we've came and interviewed, right? Same thing, with same thing with Jim Schwartz. Let's say Jim Schwartz gets the Browns job. Let's say the Browns elevate him to the head coaching job. Would it be crazy for Ephraim, who's been with him all these years, to get elevated to DC or get a higher position within the Browns organization? Even with Jim Leonard, even with Jim Leonard, right? His mentor is up for a possible promotion and becoming a head coach somewhere. His mentor could end up becoming a head coach for one of these football teams. So if that happens, why wouldn't Jim go with his mentor and be his DC? Why wouldn't he go with him and become his DC? So it's not only the fact that there's these open head coaching jobs that some of the guys that we really want as defensive coordinators could go and take. Brian Flores could easily become a head coach. Raheem Morris could easily become a head coach. Jim Schwartz can easily become a head coach. It's very possible. So not only would that eliminate them, from becoming our defensive coordinator, but it also would mean that they could steal some of the candidates that we like to be on their staff. Right? That is very possible. That's very possible. And listen, JV, I know that Boss talked about, he said, HTM, I can see Brian going to Pittsburgh, whereby he could be his own man. I could easily see that as well. I can see Brian going to Pittsburgh. I can see Jim Schwartz being elevated by the Cleveland Browns and becoming their head coach. And Raheem Morris could possibly get a job with like the Raiders, the Tennessee Titans, the Cardinals. Like, he could get a job somewhere. You know what I'm saying? That program was on the upswing when he got fired. They had won their last 4 games. They had won their last 4 games. Vance Joseph could get a head coaching job somewhere. He's a hot commodity right now. Like, his defense is gangster, right? The Denver Broncos defense is amazing right now. Vance Joseph could get another opportunity to be a head coach. So why wouldn't he bring Jim Leonard with him? There's reports that John Harbaugh is looking at Jim Leonard to be his defensive coordinator. So there are consequences to there being this many head coaching openings right now. There's a doomsday scenario where Brian Flores becomes a head coach and he can't be a DC. Raheem Morris can't be a DC. He a head coach somewhere. Jim Schwartz becomes the Brown head coach. He can't be a DC. Durante Jones is a DC under Brian Flores, so he can't get the job. Jim Leonard becomes the DC of the Giants, or the DC underneath Vance Joseph, so he can't be there for you. It can get ugly for you if this shit goes sideways, man. It can get ugly as hell for the Dallas Cowboys if they wait and they, drag their feet and they don't get somebody in here. And to your point, like, if you had another option to go somewhere under a more respected head coach, under a more respected front office, get paid more money, why the fuck would you settle for the Dallas Cowboys? The Dallas Cowboys is that girl that peaked in high school. She used to be bad, you know what I'm saying? She used to have a fat ass. She used to be pretty, perky titties, popular, energetic. But then she got, now that she grown, she got 4 or 5 baby daddies. She got 6, 7 kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Dallas Cowboys done fell off. The Dallas Cowboys ain't what they used to be no more. And then my boy George Boney said, bang, bang, 4-9 gang. Listen, I ain't got shit negative to say about the 49ers right now. They are much more successful this season than I thought they would be. That's a great coaching job y'all are doing, navigating all those injuries, being down your all-pro tight end, your all-pro pass rusher, your all-pro linebacker, playing practice squad guys out there, numerous injuries throughout the course of the year. You missed your quarterback for a lower portion of time, and you're still a game away from going to the NFC Championship game. So, as much as I like the rivalry, as much as I want to say fuck the 49ers, I do have to take my hats off to that. That's good coaching. Now, I hope y'all get belt to ass when y'all play Seattle, but I can't be mad at what you've done up to this point. So, kudos to y'all. Kudos to y'all. But I hope y'all get belt to ass this week. Yeah, I thought it was ugly for him too. But when you have a great when you have a great culture in place, when you have a great head coach and different things like that, so that what that can lead to. You can overcome injuries with stuff like that. He said, HTM, other you and the other content creators are the only reason that I want to give attention to the Cowboys now. I appreciate that, man. I do appreciate that. Yeah, there's a lot of listen, we got a lot of question marks. We got to get this shit figured out. Cause listen, there's a lot of bad shit that can happen. Aaron White Cotton could be the pick. Jonathan Gannon could be the pick. The guys that we like, because of the way that the coaching carousel is spinning still, because the way the coaching carousel is spinning still, guys we like could be head coaches, and the guys that we like could end up going elsewhere for DC jobs. Getting more money. So it could get dangerous. But I do want to give y'all a glimmer of hope. I want to give y'all a glimmer of hope. I want to give y'all just a tidbit of hope. Because I was having a conversation with Tom Downey. Y'all go and support Tom Downey and his page. Go give him a share, go give him a like. He was talking to somebody else, because they were talking about their displeasure with the coaching process and the coaching search and the names that were circulating. So I had shared and had commented to him. I said, I like a lot of the names they've interviewed, which I really do. Like, I don't have a problem with Jim Leonhardt. I like Chris Parker. I still like Zach Orr until they give me the information to why I wouldn't like him, right? Because I haven't had that in-depth conversation with Boss yet. We're going to talk through it on the next show. I like to go into things like that blind, so I haven't looked into it, right? So there are guys I like. But like I was telling him, hey, I like the names, but I would have liked them to contact Raheem Morris and Brian Flores. This was his response, and this is fair. I agree with these two. Morris seems to be inclined to do the head coach once first. Flores did in person, which the Cowboys haven't started yet, which is true. The Dallas Cowboys have not done a singular in-person interview yet. We've done nothing but Zoom calls. Perhaps neither guy needs to do the Zoom step to get, acclimated for the Cowboys. So his argument, which is fair, You don't have to go through the Zoom meeting portion with Raheem Morris or Brian Flores. You just got to call them in to your facility and see if you can work out a deal, which is true. There was no Zoom meeting call done between the Commanders and Brian Flores. Brian Flores just went in and did it. Brian Flores just went in and interviewed for the job. The Dallas Cowboys have not done in-person meetings just yet. So there is still a possibility next week when the Dallas Cowboys do start that portion of the process that they get called in. Now, that's not what I prefer. I prefer them to go through both. Put my mind at ease. But let's just talk through it. This is what Stephen Jones and them were talking about. And salute to Tommy Orish. He said he caught up with Cowboys COO and co-owner Stephen Jones today, who outlined the latest on Dallas' search for a new DC. Said the team is making progress, have begun to narrow down candidates, and are focused on getting it right, not a deadline. Furthermore, for added context, this is from Nick Harris. Y'all make sure y'all sub and follow Nick Harris. And this is a direct quote from Stephen Jones this time. I think we're in the initial run of interviews. We're going to cast a wide net, whether it's half a dozen, 10, 12 coaches, when it's all said and done. I don't know what that number will be, but then we'll narrow it down. We're already starting to narrow it down, and we'll start to bring guys in for in-person interviews. Some of the guys that we felt were the guys that would fit. So, I'll be fair. They are going through the full process, and they're being thorough. I will give them that much. And salute to Donald Holmes as well for the Cash App, man. Salute to my brother Donald Holmes, man. Said, gotcha, brother. That's love right there. I appreciate you. Thank you for showing love, and thank you for helping keep the lights on. And remember my mantra, y'all. If y'all pay, I will stay. But I do need to jump up and go to the bathroom real quick. So let me play the Dak Prescott video where he is not happy with the defense, and then I'll be back on here momentarily. Y'all give me 2 seconds, and I'll be right back. So this is just to hold you over, and then we'll continue to talk about the process of the Dallas Cowboys DC search, and if we believe it, and if we like the way that it's going. So let's see.
More broad than.
And what gives me...
The team overall, what does the team need overall?
I mean, it's still hard to answer that. I mean, you've got one of the best offenses in the league, and unfortunately one of the defenses, but the not so good defenses in the league, or however you said that. My job is to play quarterback. Obviously, I've been in this thing 10 years, and I've got a lot of experience, and I know a lot and can help make decisions or help give input. But I'd be damned if I sit here and I'm going to evaluate the whole team on what we need to do, how we need to get better, particularly a couple hours after our last game. So
yeah, Tim Kalishaw, Dallas Morning News. You're very good at being a team guy, but this is the first Cowboy team ever to give up 30 points a game. The kind of pressure that puts on the offense. How much do you have to get away from that next year to have success?
I mean, I put pressure on myself, honestly, to score 30 points a game, and I think this offense does, right, or 30-plus points a game. So, right, it's unfortunate we're giving up that much, and that did, make it a little harder, but yeah, we have to stop that, right? We've got to stop giving up 30 points a game, and that'll be, I know, the vocal and the main focus of this offseason. But at the end of the day, when you're an offense who can score 30 and 30-plus, that's what I'm going to focus on the ways that we can make sure that we're doing that and giving our team the best chance to score as many points as we can week in and week out. And there's going to be games, even when we make adjustments or whatever, and we're stopping teams, holding them to much less than that, half of that. There's still going to be a game where teams score 30, 40 points that we've got to go.
Yes. All right, I'm back, y'all. But, yeah, so I'll say this. I still would have preferred, just me personally, I still would have preferred the Dallas Cowboys to put them both through the entire process. I would have still requested a Zoom interview with Brian Flores. He would have had to tell me no. I would have still requested a Zoom meeting with Raheem Morris. They would have had to tell me no. Right? So, I get it. There's still a possibility. They're still going through the long end. But I will say this. I am horrified by the thought process of the Dallas Cowboys doing an in-person interview with Jonathan Gannon. If that happens, we're fucked. You know what I'm saying? Because that means that Jonathan Gannon wasn't just a due diligence, take a call and holler at him about defensive philosophies and shit like that. That means that they really grown attached to the man, and they really, really are considering him, for the DC job. That means that he made the cut. You know what I'm saying? If that happens, we are fucked. We got to say no to Gannon, man. No Jonathan Gannon. Y'all got to have to go out there and spam that hashtag that boss had. But I'm also saying on the flip side, if we see guys that we like get invited for the in-person interviews, if we see Chris Parker get an in-person interview, if we see Jim Leonard get an in-person interview, if we see Daronte Jones get an in-person interview, that means that Shotty might be winning the war for the souls of the Dallas Cowboys. You say you never been on a plane. Boy, you crazy as hell. One thing I will tell you, if you never been on a plane before, flying overseas is not how you want to start. But it'll be fine. If you're old enough to drink and you're on a decent airline, they will give you complimentary liquor. Take you a little swig or so, mellow yourself out, watch an in-flight movie. And if you're scared of flying and shit, just don't get a window seat. You'll be fine. But it's a nice experience, man. Flying ain't crazy. I felt the same way, too, when I first started traveling and moving around. I actually had to get over my fear of flying because I ended up working at an airport. And it was just more reasonable for them to fly us different places for our training. Right? So I used to work at an airport. They used to have to fly us back and forth for training at different points. So I had to, get over that. I had to get over that. So yeah, man, get you some complimentary liquor. Don't get a window seat. Watch a movie, put some headphones in, and just know that if you experience turbulence, that big ass plane is not going down. Right? It's rare. It rarely ever happens for anything bad to happen on an airplane. You're at more risk with these non-driving ass niggas on the ground than you are up there. So you'll be fine, bro. Just enjoy Paris, man. Just enjoy Paris. Take plenty of pictures. Make plenty of memories. And you'll be fine, my boy. He said, smoke a blunt before you be. Yeah. Do something to mellow yourself out, man. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking about though, when it comes to the second phase that they're talking about. Yeah, JV said, looking out on seeing nothing but water as far as you can see, and you're already miles in the air won't be a good feeling. Yeah, don't listen. Even if you get a window seat, if they got the blind on that hole, make sure that bitch is down at all times. Don't you look out at the wing or nothing. If you're that nervous about it, don't you do it. Don't you do that to yourself. But yeah, I'm concerned though about that second phase. Now, maybe it's my PTSD because we dealt with these sorry ass niggas for years. We don't trust the Dallas Cowboys in the way that they operate. But to be fair, and I always try to be fair. Definitely watch out for pickpockets in Paris. But I try to be fair. The last defensive coaching search did not go like this. The last defensive coaching search did not go like this. They called Deion Sanders, well, really about the head coaching search. Like, this defensive coaching, this DC search is more thorough than the head coaching search was. So I think that might be a step in the right direction. It's just we're so jaded and traumatized by the horrible processes the Dallas Cowboys go through when evaluating these positions that we do not feel like giving them the benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? Like, they always end up doing things the wrong way and coming to the wrong conclusion. They just do. They just do. And I'm not mad at anybody if they don't trust the Dallas Cowboys or the Jones boys. At this moment in time, they have not earned your trust. You should, and listen, we should all be on their ass until the process is done and we get the process right. Like, we really, really should. He said the turbulence may fuck you up one time. Yeah, man. I got some stuff I want to add into. The show, but it might take a little bit. So while I'm doing that, man, let's do some Q&A. Let's do some Q&A right now, man. Let's do a little Q&A right now. Y'all put some questions in the chat box. I'll answer them while I try and get this other stuff added into the show. I think that'd be a good way to bridge the content. All right, my boy Joe said, I've been on airplane many times. I love it. Takes 9 hours from Italy to New York. That's a long-ass flight. What's good with you, Coach Sam Broom? Thank you for tapping in, man. Thank you for tapping in and showing love to the page, man. And listen, on the way in here, y'all make sure y'all hit that like and y'all hit that share, man. Let me make sure that everything is according. Let me refresh this and see, what the likes and the shares are looking like. Cause we almost at the hour mark. Let me see how y'all doing with me. All right. So we only got 44 likes on the page, and there's over 70 people inside the liquor store, man. And salute to my brother Common Sense Lab in the building as well, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit that share if you care. Make sure y'all slap the fuck out of an Eagles fan. Salute to y'all. All right, we got our first question. How much are you still in on Trey Hendrickson? As it stands right now, I'm still targeting Trey Hendrickson in free agency. I'm still targeting Trey Hendrickson in free agency. Because everything is a risk at this point. If you draft somebody high in the first round, it's a risk. If you trade for Max Crosby, it's a risk. It's a risk to sign Trey Hendrickson at his age, possibly coming off of core surgery, because I think you got to have an off season procedure, right, to fix the core muscles. So I'm targeting Trey Hendrickson because him on this defense, and you bring back Jadeveon Clowney and give him an incentive-based deal, that's a better pass rushing room than you had. You have to bank on the development of Eazy-E. You have to bank on Quentin Williams having a full offseason with this team, with this group, helping with the camaraderie and helping with the defensive line as a whole. Him being able to insert himself as a leader. He said, Henny, I'm going to sign in for my new channel. Bet that up. Appreciate you. So, yeah, I would bring Trey Hendrickson in, man. He's one of the best free agents available. The Dallas Cowboys have a lot of holes, and they need to use free agency to fill those holes. So I'm still in on Trey Hendrickson. So do you really think we're going to go hard in free agency? I believe they have no choice. The Dallas Cowboys know they only have a finite amount of time left with Dak Prescott playing all-pro caliber football, and they have to use that limited amount of time to maximize their ability to compete. You cannot go into a full rebuild right now with Dak Prescott as your quarterback. You're paying him a lot of money, and it would be a disservice to the franchise, if they did not go out there and try and use free agency to build this team and try and get to the postseason. So I believe they have no other choice. And, there's too many reports out there right now for them to feign ignorance. Todd Archer talked about how the Dallas Cowboys can create cap space. I've talked about how the Dallas Cowboys can create cap space. There's other, reputable people that talked about how the Dallas Cowboys can create cap space and go into free agency and go shopping. So I believe that they will. I believe that they will spend the ticket to keep George Pickens. I do believe the Dallas Cowboys, will address some of the defensive needs and deficiencies in free agency because they have no other choice. I believe they have no choice, so they will do it. And salute the headhunter in the building too, man. I see you sliding in. All right. Common Sense Lab. Which coaches available can get the best out of players? I believe it's Brian Flores right now. Brian Flores is so head and shoulders over everybody else. That's who I'm rocking with. That's who I'm taking. That's who I want. That's who I need. To be our guy. That's who I want in here. Matter of fact, hey, I just seen something that I want to share. that I want to share. So hold on. I'm going to play 105.3 The Fan real quick. Now, they got my black ass blocked, on my Henny DeMore page, but it's fine. Shit like that be happening. I be going crazy on them niggas sometimes. I called their partner out about being a drunk racist and what he said about Mexicans. I didn't like that shit. I fuck with my brown brothers. And if you really have a way you feel about the Hispanic people, I know you don't like niggas. You just ain't got caught saying nothing crazy about no niggas. So maybe that what got me banned on there when I did that show about that nigga. Maybe it's me being on their ass about carrying water from time to time. Who knows? Like crazy shit be happening. But they are talking about what I was just talking about the report of, Elam getting taken away, as a candidate, him getting stolen by the Giants. So I did want to play that for y'all real quick because I think y'all need the information. It's not, I don't really fuck with them niggas like that. They don't fuck with me, but I do want to give y'all information, right? So this is a necessary evil in my opinion. So let's just hear what these niggas have to say.
Offensive coordinator stolen by John Harbaugh and the New York Giants. Good morning, Metroplex. It's Sean and RJ along with Cowboys insider Bobby Belt on your official home of Dallas Cowboys football. Bobby, who's lurking? What's going on?
These damn Giants. We were worried about people sniping George Pickens from us. Maybe it's actually Jim Leonard. So apparently yesterday morning, Art Stapleton, who is a Giants beat reporter, I think he works for like NJ.com or one of those places, but he had been on with Solomon Wilcots on Sirius XM. And while he was on there, he had said, hey, watch out for Jim Leonard to become a serious defensive coordinator candidate here with the Giants. And then a little bit later, about an hour later, I think it was, you had Ricky Scoops jumping on Twitter,
who kind of threw Harbaugh being done out to the Giants first.
So Ricky was on there, and he apparently had not been aware of the Art Stapleton report or what he had said. Nobody was, because Sirius doesn't do a good job of blasting out their stuff that they've got there. But he tweeted a photo of the Wisconsin Badger dancing, and it says, hearing that there has been a Badger sighting in the Meadowlands, something to look out for. And he keeps on posting Badger images now. So,
and a lot of people are like, You're incorrect because it can't be a Badger sighting. You can't do these in-person interviews. Denver needs to be eliminated. And then he followed up and he's like, I'm not being literal that like Jim Leonard is there in person, but he could be soon.
Yeah.
He was referring to Leonard, right? Did he say Leonard?
No, he didn't say Leonard, but he then followed up and went, I'm hearing Art Stapleton already said so. The fact that Stapleton had mentioned Leonard means he was talking about Jim Leonard. And
you always tell us to look for the ties, right? We all know look for the connections. And there is one.
There's one. They spent a year together in 08 with the Baltimore Ravens. Now, he did get the hell out of there as fast as he could and went back to Rex Ryan in 09 as soon as Rex was over there. But, there's connection there.
Shoddy was there.
Yeah, Shoddy was there in New York those 2 years.
When did he get there? When did Shoddy get there? Shoddy get there in 09?
No, Shoddy got there in 06. He was 2006 to 2011. So 09 is when Jim Leonard would have gotten there. But, boy, this would suck. This would suck if you get John Harbaugh in the NFC East, and then immediately he comes in here, and then one of the defensive coordinators that's, if not at the very top of your list, is right there. If he was to just come walk in here and snatch him up immediately.
We should have a sense of comfort that this could come down to money. We should. But then you factor in Jerry and some of the things that have been said about him not willing to pay, and are the New York Giants, if they're willing to throw out nearly $20 million towards John Harbaugh, I would imagine they're like, hey, we're going to go ahead and give you a nice big fat account to spend with.
Connor Hughes, who is a New York reporter as well, he does Jets and Giants stuff. He was reporting on the dinner that occurred with Harbaugh and everything else. And one of the things
Giants paid for it, they are big spending.
Aaliyah or whatever it is.
The restaurant Shoddy wasn't important enough to get in.
One of the things he said, he was important enough once he dropped my name. One of the things he said was, aside from paying John Harbaugh, I'm told he will have the budget he needs to round out his staff as he sees fit. The Giants are sparing no expenses after.
Now, see, that's why it's a danger. Remember when I was talking about the head coaching jobs and the openings and all that other shit? It's not just because we got qualified guys that we like, that are going to get these head coaching jobs. Because I really do feel that Brian Flores becomes the Steelers head coach. I want him here in Dallas, but I feel like he's going to become the Steelers head coach. Same thing when it comes down to like Jim Schwartz and Raheem Morris. They are likely to get head coaching jobs. But it's also the butterfly effect of these new head coaches needing to fill out their staff. We're looking at highly qualified people, and they're also looking at highly qualified people. So even though we have been adamant about Jim Leonhard not being the best possible fit out there for the Dallas Cowboys, he's still a damn good prospect. He's still be a damn good hire for the Dallas Cowboys. He's just not the best guy available. In our humble opinions. I like Jim Leonard. I like him a lot. And I would hate, if we get holding our dick and he's off the board. And then Brian Flores comes and whoop, fuck that, give me my boy Durante back. Then Jim Schwartz pull up like, nah, Ephraim staying over here. And we ain't even talking about Ephraim like that. You know what I'm saying? But point being, there are consequences for there being this many head coaching jobs and us looking for DCs at the same time. Because some of these DC candidates will become head coaches, and some of these DC candidates that we like will go take jobs under these new head coaches because they paying more. You just heard them say they will spare no expense, like old buddy said on Jurassic Park. I will spare no expense. They will spare no expense to go out there and fix their defense and get the staff that they want for these new head coaches. At least that's what's going on with the Giants. Right? So let's hear the rest of this shit real quick.
After getting their guy.
I mean, they didn't even take him to dinner in New York City. They took him in Hackensack.
He seems like a Hackensack guy, though.
Harbs?
Yeah.
It's in Jersey. It's just like where they. That's
Frank's
close
Chicken
to where,
House, but
close to where the teams all stay. Yeah, you didn't even take him to the You didn't even take him to Manhattan. You took him to the suburbs.
John's probably more of a Hackensack guy.
More of a Jersey guy.
Yeah, Hoboken. He doesn't want Short Hills or Manhattan.
Yeah, Short Hills.
So that would suck if you get out-connected and then you get outspent.
It'd be really bad. Now, obviously, they could...
If he's the guy, could be, Jonathan Gannon, even though we haven't heard any feedback on that meeting. And maybe John Harbaugh takes Zach Orr, who the Cowboys were going to speak with and was the defensive coordinator last year in Baltimore.
I mean, the Cowboys have, obviously working when he played under Shoddy. I mean, he was on a different side of the ball, so we have no idea how much interaction they had.
Yeah.
He did, obviously, like you said, play for Harbaugh for that 1 year. That was Harbaugh's rookie year as a head coach.
Yeah. Shoddy said he has not spoken really to Jim Leonard since his playing days. Yeah, he said he ran into him, I think, before the Denver game and said hey to him, but that was it.
It's possible he liked living there, playing there, obviously on a different team, but same area. Who knows? But this would be very disappointing if this came down to simple money.
Which I don't know that would be the issue. Maybe it is. I don't know if that would be the issue. To me, it would.
Let me pause right
when
there.
it's
Because listen, it very well could come down to money with all of these candidates. Because you got to think about it. And Boss did a very good job of explaining this. So kudos to my brother Boss Cowboy. But when you pay your coach, your head coach, a lot of money, there's a trickle-down effect, like he was talking about. You can expect them to really be able to compensate their coordinators, right? Because if I'm not mistaken, Harbaugh's contract, they're paying him like $20 million a year. They said it's roughly like $100 million contract over a 5-year period, and it's $20 million a year. In comparison, Brian Schottenheimer's leaked contract, he makes about $4.5 million a year. There is a real possibility that the New York Giants can offer their defensive coordinator $7 million a year, $8 million a year, $5 million a year. That would be more than Brian Schottenheimer makes if that is the path they're going. If they got a budget like that to spend on coordinators. So if it did come down to the money, let's say for example, they were torn in between playing for the New York Giants and playing for the Dallas Cowboys. That extra $4-5 million would make a world of difference. It'll make a world of difference in getting a deal done and getting them to sign their name on the dotted line. Exactly. The Giants DC about to make more than the Cowboys head coach, and that's the problem right now. Now, it's happened before where the Dallas Cowboys paid a coordinator more than they paid the head coach. Jason Garrett, is on record of making more money than Wade Phillips while he was here. So it's not outside of the realm of possibility. It's possible, but I just don't see it. And that could be, one of the deciding factors on if we're able, if we're able to land some of these big fish. Also, it's looking like Jim Schwartz will be off the table. I knew that this was a possibility because, like I said, he's earned the right to be a head coach again. But according to Mary Kay Cabot, breaking DC Jim Schwartz to get a second head coach interview with the Browns on Monday, a league source tells Cleveland.com. Others too, but at least one candidate is expected to do a second session. So remember, this is going to be the norm. Guys like Jim Schwartz, guys like Brian Flores, guys like Raheem Morris, who we really like and think are the most qualified, they're probably going to go to greener pastures to get head coaching jobs. So let's be 1,000. Let's be 1,000. But let me continue to play this, and I'll be back. I got to go to the rest.
Instantly, like Harbaugh gets hired, and people are like, "Uh-oh, watch that." That to me says just people know that like Jim Leonard does feel comfortable in New York. It was that time spent with the Jets or something. He's comfortable in the area, and he would want to go there. And it could be that he just looks at the pieces on defense and just goes, "I'd rather have that."
Yes.
Yeah.
Because right now,
I'd rather have that.
He needs, not just because he was a safety, he needs like an elite, like flexible safety, or that's what he would love to have in what he does with his defense. Dallas doesn't have that right now. Are they going to be able to get it this offseason? There's no telling. And so I think that's part of it, is it just could be the personnel's at play.
Can't Ferg put on a full court Wisconsin jump around press?
He played for him. He was his head coach, I think, for like a year. Maybe not, but I mean, he was definitely on staff there, but I think he was the interim while Ferg was theirs last year.
Do we also need to be keeping an eye on Atlanta?
Yeah. I think that it's important to see who the Falcons hire.
By the way, am I the only one who feels like this head coach hiring process is going extremely slow? And is that the league actually, unlike Jerry, paying respect to the playoffs and Roger Goodell's wishes not to upset it?
No, I think it's the late guys that got fired. So it's Pittsburgh or fired or quit or whatever. Pittsburgh and Baltimore were so late, and those are like two of the most prestigious jobs. So I think it slowed everybody down. They're like, whoa, hold on. I want to see what Pittsburgh and Baltimore are going to do if I get an interview there.
It's like the free agency. It's like free agency. Like you wait for the first domino to fall, the first big fish. And once the big fish falls, everybody falls in line. I don't know. It's only been, 10 days?
Yeah, but for one head coach to be hired.
What?
9 openings.
Yeah, one coach to be hired. That's a little. Still, I think
we need a lot of hirings. They need a third of the league to be hired.
Yeah, I don't know. I just for some reason I just figured like 2 weeks minimum to hire a coach, but maybe I'm just too cowboyed in.
Well, Steven is going to say something about how long it takes to hire coaches here in a sec. But Jeff Ulbrich in Atlanta, I think they are keeping like an eye over there on what's going to happen in Atlanta and do they retain him? Because they clearly wanted to talk to him, and Atlanta said no. He was in their first list of 4 people they wanted to talk to. So I think Ulbrich is still somebody that they like and are interested in. And if they're still going through the process and Atlanta hires somebody and it doesn't look like Ulbrich's coming back, then I think they would try to interview him.
And I'd be happy with the new Browns coach not retaining Jim.
Now, that is something else to look at. Because remember, that is a thought that I ain't thought about. Jeff Ulbrich was declined. Like, Dallas Cowboys reached out to get Jeff Ulbrich, right? And the Atlanta Falcons declined to let him interview because it's a lateral move. They can block all lateral moves, right? And the situation in Atlanta is this. The owner wants Jeff Ulbrich to stay and be the defensive coordinator. He is going, to suggest to the new football head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, whoever it may be, whenever that process is over, they are going to suggest that Jeff Ulbrich stays at the DC. But he also stated if the new head coach wanted a different DC, he would expect his decision. So Jeff Ulbrich right now is sitting in limbo, right? He is at the mercy of whatever happens, and whatever decision is made by the new head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. So what could happen, right, if everybody else gets swooped up, Jim Leonhard gone, Zach Orr gone, Chris Parker decides to stay and doesn't want the job, or he get a DC job somewhere else, right? If all the other super qualified candidates get head coaching jobs, and we're left just sitting there with no dance partner, there is a possibility that Jeff Ulbrich leaves Atlanta because the new head coach don't want him. There's a possibility that he leaves Atlanta and the Dallas Cowboys snatch him up and make him the DC. Now, I am not a huge Jeff Ulbrich guy. I do not like him like that. But it's a possibility for the Dallas Cowboys. They like him, apparently. They liked him enough to send him, to send him an interview request. You don't request an interview, guys, if you don't like them. Right? Outside of Rooney Rule stuff, and I don't even know if Jeff would have qualified for the Rooney Rule, no shit like that. But they appeared to have liked them, and it is what it is. So let's see what they're talking about.
Jim Schwartz. I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, Schwartz would be great. I don't know how quickly they would jump. They've been so specific about interviewing young coaches in this process. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Is Schwartz just not a guy that they're like, nah, we want to build with somebody else? I don't know. But it's I think Ulbrich gets an interview if the new coach decides he doesn't want to retain him.
What did Steven say?
So Steven spoke to one Tommy Yarish and was asked about, hey, how's things going through the process with the defensive coordinator search. He says, I think we're in the initial run. We're going to cast a wide net, whether it's half a dozen, 10, 12 coaches when it's all said and done. I don't know what that number will be, but then we'll narrow it down. We're already starting to narrow it down, and we'll start to bring guys in for in-person interviews, some of the guys that we felt were the guys that would fit. He says the guys who fit what we want to be as a defense, the identity that we want to have, that fit with the personnel that we have.
Also, real quick, salute to Miss Pam for the Cash App. I appreciate you showing love and helping keep the lights on in the liquor store. And y'all remember my mantra, man. If you pay, I will stay. And y'all paying right now, man. So, hey, I'm gonna try to continue to give you good quality, dope, unadulterated, unfiltered Dallas Cowboys content. So I appreciate y'all for everything, man. And listen, please hit the like button while we at it. There's 93 people watching right now and only 64 likes. So y'all please make sure y'all hit that like button inside the liquor store, man. Thank y'all.
On the defensive side of the ball, because we think we have a lot of good pieces in place. We know we have to improve not only from a coaching staff standpoint, but we also need to improve from a personnel standpoint. So all that goes into the mix and the equation, and I think we're making good progress. Now, I think that's a little bit of when he says, well, some things here you got to fit with this, and you also got to fit with the personnel we have on that defensive side of the ball. So is that them saying, like, we'll be able to give you some resources, but if you're telling us we got to overhaul the entire defense, you're not getting hired here. You got to be able to work with some of these pieces that we have that we think are staying.
So that is Inside the Star here with Sean and RJ and our Cowboys insider Bobby Belt. Are the Tolos freaking out? Do you feel like the fans' sentiments on Twitter and the Franklin Franco text line has been Jim Leonard?
Yeah, I mean, Leonard has probably been the strong candidate, and that's in large part, let's be honest, I mean, a lot of that's because analysts will talk about him and kind of pump him up as somebody they like or somebody they know the Cowboys like. And so
so they admitting now that the Jim, you see where they admitted that the Jim Leonard stuff was sort of not fabricated to say, because Jim Leonard is dope. But you did see them admit, like, hey, like the Jim Leonard push was on steroids. Like, you know, everybody was hyping them up. The analysts hyped them, and the fans gravitated, and we report. Yeah, all right. As long as you know, all right.
That's kind of how they get their awareness from. But, no, I mean, I think there's been a lot of interest from the fan base in, obviously, Flores. They want to interview Flores. There's been chatter about some people like Gammon. And then there's other people who I think like Durante Jones and others who like Christian Parker. Like, those are the ones who I think kind of stand out.
Mike McCarthy is scheduled to interview tomorrow with the Tennessee Titans. Howie Roseman holding their State of the Eagles press conference yesterday. Listen to this answer on possible.
All right, that's it. It's done. They already talked about the defense. I don't give a fuck about. Unless I like Mike McCarthy. I hope brother Mike lands on his feet somewhere. You know, I don't like the way that Jerry Jones and them did that man while he was here. You know, and fuck the Eagles. I don't want to hear shit about the Eagles. I hope that they never win another game as long as their organization exists. You know, that's how I feel about the Eagles. Fuck the Eagles. But, you know, they pretty much said a lot of the things that I've been saying, and they gave good information on everything else, man. They gave very good information. So kudos to them. You know, even though they be over there defending that drunk racist bitch. So yeah, man. I do appreciate y'all for sliding in here too. But yeah, so those are some of the scenarios. Like, you could miss out on Jim Leonard. You could miss out on Brian Flores. You could miss out on Raheem. You could miss out on a lot of the big names that people have coveted this entire time through this coaching search. But, you know, I like to spin back to what my boy Tommy Downey said to me, man. Tom Downey. There's nothing that says that Brian Flores needs an in-person, needs a Zoom meeting to get the in-person interview. Like, they could listen. His reputation already precedes him. Raheem Moore's reputation already precedes him. Jim Schwartz's reputation already precedes them. Like, they're already made man in the National Football League. You're talking about guys with skins on the wall like Jerry likes, right? Those are guys you just call in, you know, and you try to get the deal done. So I'm holding out hope that when the in-person interviews start, and I believe they're going to probably start like Monday. I believe they're going to start Monday. The playoffs commence, this week, this weekend. Right, they commence this weekend. So there's a possibility that when they do the in-person interviews, they could call them. Right? I'm not saying it's likely. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying it's still on the table. Right? I'd be delusional if I told you I believe that shit. But, I did want to give y'all a glimmer of hope. I'm not the type of nigga to hope and pray. Well, I pray because I believe in God. I believe in God. But, I'm not the type of person to hope, and put all my stock on, stuff with a low percentage of stuff that happens. You know what I'm saying? Like my daddy used to tell me, if you hope in one hand and you shit in the other, wait to see which one fills up first. You know what I'm saying? So I don't believe that Brian Flores gets interviewed. I'm past that now. I hope it's still a possibility. I don't believe Raheem Morris get interviewed. I'm past that now, but it's still a possibility. And I just got, the update that Jim Schwartz is getting his second interview with the Cleveland Browns. And I would not be surprised if Jim Schwartz is the Browns head coach. There's a lot of players, that are campaigning within the Browns organization for him to get the job. Denzel Ward, Myles Garrett, all the superstars on defense, and remember, all of the superstars in Cleveland are on that side of the ball. All of their best players are on the defense. So when you got guys like that championing you and, giving you their stamp of approval to be their head coach, and they're rallying behind you, it's a very good possibility that Jim Schwartz is the Browns head coach going forward. So I'm pretty much at peace with not getting the big three. You know what I'm saying? But can we not settle for Jonathan Gannon? Can we just, swipe left on him getting an in-person interview? Can we swipe left on that? Can we do our due diligence and bring Durante back, for an in-person interview? Can we do our due diligence and bring Jim in for an in-person interview? Can we do our due diligence and bring Christian Parker in for an in-person interview? Can we do our due diligence and bring in the young hot shots that we feel are innovating the game? If we can't get an old dude with skins on the wall like Jerry likes, right? If we can't get a ready-made guy, can we at least get a prodigy? Because people look at Christian Parker as a prodigy. He's coached 3 All-Pro cornerbacks in a very short time frame. He's been a coach since 22 years old. Like, he's a prodigy from the way that you look at how he's developed these players. He was the main guy that developed Patrick Surtain since he stepped into the league. He's the main guy that developed Quinyon Mitchell. He's the main guy that developed Cooper DeJean. Right? He was with those guys when they were rookies and built them up to what they are at this point under his tutelage. Outside of God and their parents for the genetics, like his stamp is what helped them at this level, right? You say God for making you, your parents for the good genes, and then Christian Parker for helping mold them at the NFL level, right? I would say he's the defensive savant when it comes to the back end. Same thing you could say with Durante. Like he's somebody that's been in the Big Buddy program, learning underneath Brian Flores all these years. You will be crazy if you think he was learning from a master of defensive football this entire time and he ain't got no new tricks in the tool bag. I want some of that. Right? Same thing with Jim Leonhard. I know that we've been very vocal about who we would rather have, but at the end of the day, Jim Leonhard, I'm sorry, I continue to call him Leonhard. That's my fault. I see that Leonhard, and my brain says Leonhard. It's Leonard. But point being, he is also looked as a savant. He's looked at as somebody that is quickly climbing the coaching rankings and everything else like that. He's well liked around the league. So if you can't get somebody like a Brian Flores or a Jim Schwartz, go get you one of these young up and coming guys. Go get you the guy with the most potential, and maybe, as a counter to that, if you go super young at DC, go, war. You go war hardened veteran positional coaches. Get you somebody that have been through the battles at linebacker coach. Get you a veteran passing game coordinator. Get you a veteran defensive back coach, a veteran defensive line coach, and you give them a support system. If you go young savant, go elder statesman at the other positions and to prop them up. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to get somebody that does not have, a track record of calling plays at the National Football League at a professional level, go get you some veteran guys to surround him with, so they can help him through the process. You know what I mean? JV said he hate the dodo birds. He can talk about the weak ass Eagles. We all hate them niggas. We all hate them niggas, man. I swear we do. He said it would suck not to even have a conversation with Flores just because he has the balls to tell Jerry, stay the fuck out my meetings. I mean, listen. Jerry Jones already done been through that. And he went through that with Jimmy Johnson. He went through that with his partner. He went through that with somebody that he actually had a prior relationship to, respected and loved, because they were very good friends. Like, he sought out Jimmy to make the transition from college football to professional football because of their personal relationship, and he believed in him, right? And he would not even put up with that with Jimmy Johnson. He damn sure is not going to put up with that from anybody else. There is not a soul alive he will put that up. He will put that with. Yeah, I know the H is silent. It be fucking me up though. He said that's why I was high on Rod Wright. He got that Texas D-line playing at an elite level. Yep. I agree. I want somebody that has success with the position group they're over. You know what I'm saying? That's the main reason why I'm so critical of Aaron Whitecotton. I'm not saying that Aaron Whitecotton is the Antichrist or no shit. But I want somebody that elevated the room that they were over. Christian Parker elevated the secondary of the Eagles, and when he was with the Denver Broncos, he elevated their secondary. Right? Everywhere he goes, you have seen results and improvement, of the defensive backs that he coached, right? So guys like that, I think, are qualified. If you're over the defensive line, as you mentioned, like, hey, Rod Wright, his defensive line is elite. They get a bunch of sacks. They get a bunch of quarterback hits. They're disruptive. They only rush 4 most of the time, and they take over football games. That is not what happened with Aaron Whitecotton in his time here. Now, granted, to be fair, right? Just be fair. The Houston Texans have way more talent on that side of the ball. Their defensive line got Will Anderson and Neil Hunter. You don't have to rush more than 4 with guys like that. Will Anderson has been one of the best pass rushers since he came out of Alabama, and Neil Hunter is one of the most underrated pass rushers in league history. He's already in the 100 sack club, and people don't talk about him like he's one of the best. He's one of the best. And when you add in interior guys like Sheldon Rankin and them, like that's a gangster ass front 4, right? We don't necessarily have that over here, so I get that. But I did not like seeing Dante Fowler take a step back after he had 10.5 sacks. I didn't like seeing Eazy-E, plateau and not be as effective in rushing the passer as we saw him coming out. Right? He's way more talented than what we seen. Also, Odigizua was a non-factor until we brought in Quentin Williams. Right? Kenny Clark started good, then he started to slow down as the season progressed. That's your defensive line, Aaron Whitecott. That's your defensive line, Aaron Whitecott. So I get it. You can give him kudos for implementing the 5-man fronts. You can give him kudos for that. But he has not done a great job this year with the defensive line. I'm just being 1,000 with you. I'm gonna be 1,000 with you. Said Aaron Whitecott looks like he was passing out lunch in the team cafeteria and just became friends with Steven. Man, that's diabolical. Yeah, but listen, I ain't trying to just shit on Aaron Whitecott like that, man. I'm sure he's a good dude. But he's too close to the average build. He's too close to the average, he's too close to the average elevation the Dallas Cowboys do. Now, mind you, like I said to start the show, it's worked. It's worked sometimes. But that's too close, man. That's too close to comfort to the bullshit they usually throw out there. Aaron Whitecott becoming the DC is the equivalent of Kellen Moore becoming the offensive coordinator. It was cool. It worked. He got potential. He had upside, but you didn't have a true coaching search. Same thing with the Clapper with Jason Garrett. You elevated that man. He did okay as the interim coach, but you should have had a real coaching search. You should have had a real coaching search when it came down to filling out the head coaching position. Same thing with Brian. Now, I like Brian. You didn't have no real coaching search when you made Brian Schottenheimer the head coach. I don't want that, man. I don't want that. All right, let's get back to Q&A though. I just thought it would be a good idea to play that. Y'all listen, y'all know me. Y'all know me very well. I am easily distracted. Now, while we're doing the show, I am still looking for stuff to add into the show. So while we are doing that, please, ask questions, and I will, do my best to answer them. So put some questions in the chat box, and we're going to keep rocking. We're going to keep rocking. There's 85 people in the liquor store. We got 84 people on YouTube and one standalone, standout supporter on Facebook. So y'all make sure y'all hit the like over there. If you're on Facebook, hit the star. If you're on YouTube, hit the like, hit the super chat, hit the cash app. I appreciate y'all. Damn, bro. That is very off-putting. He said, notice we only make the moves that teams that are not winning make. I mean, you're not lying. You're not lying. We don't spend in free agency. We don't, do thorough coaching searches outside of this year. Right? So I can't be mad at you for saying that. I agree with that too. He said Whitecott getting defensive coordinator is more like Shotty getting the head coaching position. I agree. Because listen, Shotty was not calling plays his years here with Mike McCarthy. This is Brian Schottenheimer's first year of calling the offense with the Dallas Cowboys. Now, he had success in Seattle. He did. Right? I talked about how his offense elevated what's my boy name that's still playing? Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett career took off when he played under Brian Schottenheimer, right? I talked about that. But he did not do anything, other than being here on the staff and being likable and being somebody that could keep the offense pretty much the same with a couple wrinkles. Like, there was nothing to keep him here in Dallas. Like, there was nothing that qualified him to keep him here in Dallas. So you're right. Hiring Aaron Whitecott would be the same as hiring Brian Schottenheimer. He said, what positions do you think we can get the most talent from in free agency? Let me show you. And remember, we still got that show coming up. Me, Boss, Landlord. Me and Landlord do this show every year, right? But this year we're going to include Boss and Lou. We're going to do our GM show. We're going to do the cap creation tools. We're going to go in there and create the cap space. We're going to keep track of the cap space, right? We're going to go through the free agency list, and we're going to select players we want to add in free agency, guys that we want to re-sign from our own team, outside free agents that we want to add, and we're going to give them actual, factual market value contracts at what they say they're worth. And then we're going to GM. We're going to talk through it. We're going to vote on who we're going to keep, who we're going to give contract to, and everything else, right? And it is going to be about 90 to 95% accurate from what we always do. It's usually accurate as hell, right? So tune into that show. That's going to be the next show on Bossland. But to answer your question about which position gives you more bang for your buck, on in free agency, let's look. 2026. All right. So y'all bear with me. I'm going to get this pulled up. I'm going to run to the restroom again so I can focus in, because I've been drinking a lot of water and a lot of juice while I've been sitting my black ass up here. So y'all bear with me. I'll be back in 2 seconds, and then we'll actually take a look to see which position gives you the more bang for your buck. So give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back. While I'm gone, please hit the like and the share for your boy, man. I am back. So it's kudos to y'all. All right, let's get it. So the question was, which positions give the Dallas Cowboys the most bang for their buck in free agency? All right, let's take a look. And these are all the 2016 guys, right? So let's start with edge. Let's start with the needs the Dallas Cowboys have, right? Let's start with edge. Let's see what the edge position looks like. And these are the free agent edge guys that the Dallas Cowboys could possibly sign. Trey Hendrickson. He's 32. He'll be 32. Khalil Mack. He'll be 35. Hassan Reddick, who was asked this year, 32. Joey Bosa, 31. Malcolm Kuntz will be 28. Leonard Floyd will be 34. The Nico Autry, who's currently playing decently, 36. Arden Key, 30. So there's older pass rushers out there. Von Miller, who will be 37. Cam Jordan, 37. I'm going to stay away from them. Dante Fowler, 32. He's our own guy. Cal Van Noy, who'll be 35. So there's names. There's even Jalen Phillips at 27 years old, even though he's made of glass. So there are names here. Hey, do y'all remember when the Dallas Cowboys were considering drafting Caleb Von Chasen over getting CD Lamb? Do y'all remember that shit? Do y'all remember the Dallas Cowboys almost made this horrific ass mistake? Yeah, he's a free agent. I think he got, since 2020, I think he got 10 career sacks. Yeah. That's why you don't go in that bitch drafting for need. I'm just saying. Don't go in that bitch drafting for need. But anyway. So yeah, that was the edge room. So I don't know. I ain't gonna say that was edge. Now let's compare linebacker to edge. Maybe I might need to look at interior defense. No, that's interior defensive line. Okay. All right, let's look at linebacker then. Damn, bro. Oh, let me unselect it. Okay. All right, now these are the linebackers. These are the linebackers. Yeah, listen, I'll take that nigga now. He's having a good year with the Patriots. But it took him 6 years to get there. So, yeah, I take him now in free agency. He's still fairly young. And he's decent. He'll be a good depth piece. But, yeah, they dodged the bullet. Now, let's look at linebacker. Let's see if linebacker is deeper than edge. We're going to act like Kenneth Murray is not even on this list. We're going to have 36-year-old Bobby Wagner, 36-year-old Levante David, 37-year-old Demario Davis, 32-year-old Matt Milano, 32-year-old Alex Anzalone, 33-year-old Alex Singleton, 30-year-old Quincy Williams, 31-year-old EJ Speed, 26-year-old Quay Walker, 28-year-old Devin Bush, 28-year-old Devin Lloyd, 34-year-old Denzel Perryman, 29-year-old Christian Roseboom, 30-year-old Jermaine Pratt. Man, hold on. There's actually some decent linebacker names in here. 27-year-old KJ Britt, 28-year-old Willie Gay, 26-year-old N'Kobe Dean, 26-year-old Leo Chenal. Oh, hey, listen, I ain't gonna hold you. There's some decent linebackers out there. 31-year-old Jamal Adams. Yes, he did move to linebacker full time. Yeah, there's some decent linebackers. 28-year-old Devin White, 28-year-old Isaiah Simmons. I think if you're talking about depth, Quay Walker was good this year. Quay Walker was very good this year. Quay Walker played himself into a new contract. I would be surprised. I'd be super surprised if Quay Walker was not a Green Bay Packer next year. He played good football this year. Quincy Williams, yeah, I like some of these names. I'm not gonna hold you. I like some of these names. So compared to edge, there's a little bit more at linebacker you can go out and grab. You know what I'm saying? So if you had to just go and get somebody, you can grab a linebacker from this list. You can get Quincy Williams to be better at linebacker. You can get Quincy and reunite him with his brother. You know what I'm saying? And that would be better than what you've seen at linebacker currently. Right? That would still be better than what we've seen this year. Right? All right. So linebacker is better than edge, but let's see if cornerback is better than linebacker. I don't think so, but we're going to look. And I'm deselect that. All right. Not starting off great, but Darius Slay, he's retired. We're not going to talk about him. Jonathan Jones was not that good. Jamel Dean is a good name. I like Jamel Dean. Amik Robinson gave up a lot. A very underrated name on this list is Eric Stokes. Eric Stokes gave up 1 touchdown reception all year. Eric Stokes gave up 1 touchdown reception all year. He was a primary coverage corner. I'm a fan of him. I'm not saying that that has to be the guy, but I do got him pigeonholed as somebody that Dallas Cowboys should target. Like, they should target him. I would not be mad if he was acquired by the Dallas Cowboys. Greg Newsome was a guy that got his start with the Cleveland Browns. He'll be a decent pickup. I'm not saying he's a world changer. The guy I think that everybody would want is probably Tariq Woolen, because Tariq Woolen is the bigger name. He was the guy that made a Pro Bowl selection before. He's 6'4". He ran a 4.3 at the combine. He's still fairly young. So I think Tariq Woolen would be the guy that most of the fans would want. He'll be 27 years old. He's a former Pro Bowler. He's a good man coverage guy. He is a legit 6'4", amazing wingspan, great athlete. Hold on. Get the fuck off of here. No free promotion, Scotty. Like, ain't nobody trying to look at Scottie Pippen. Got Scottie Pippen, funny looking ass up here. I fuck with Scottie Pippen too. That's my Arkansas nigga. But yeah, man. Ain't nobody trying to see Scottie Pippen. No Scottie Pippen ads. Jacoby Bryant, nice as fuck. Jeff Okudah, you know, he was playing better football before he got injured. Asante Samuel Jr. Yeah, he signed a 1-year deal, and he did not play bad. He did not play bad for the Steelers when he got in there. And listen, Jerry Jones was very transparent about missing Jordan Lewis. He said he did not know they would miss the nickel that badly. He said he did not know they would miss the nickel that badly. Salute to my brother Lee in the building for the Cash App. Oh, okay, this was Headhunter in the chat. Salute to the Headhunter, man. Appreciate you. And salute to Miss Pam for the Cash App as well. I think I already said thank you to Miss Pam, but if not, I want to tell her how much I greatly appreciate her and her contributions to the show and helping keep the lights on. Appreciate Lee. Thank y'all for helping keep support the show. This shit goes a long way. Like, I am very transparent. We try to get sponsorships. They is not fucking with us. We talk too crazy about people. We do too much cussing and fussing. We keep it too real. But as long as y'all sponsor us, y'all will get content from us. So thank y'all for everything that y'all do, supporting us. That goes a long, long way. I appreciate y'all. So let's see. Delane, spell check sucks. Oh yeah, spell check is a devil. But I like Mansour Delane. And listen, I am not opposed to signing a guy and still drafting a guy. My plan is this. We get at least one free agent at every position of need the Dallas Cowboys have. If you need a safety, you got 3 5th-round picks right now. Throw a 5th-round pick over there to get throw a 5th-round pick over there to get what's my boy name? Y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all can tell that my brain is fried right now. Because we done talked about this boy so many times. He's a former All-Pro. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Put in the chat box, man. Shit, I'm tripping. You know you're getting old when you forget people's names, man. When you start forgetting names, you know you're getting old. What's the safety we almost traded for this offseason? That's what I'm talking about. Used to play at Alabama. Lord. I might have to do some puzzles or something. Minka, thank you. Damn, beige boxer. Whew, Jesus, thank you. Yeah, send a 5th round pick over there for Minka Fitzpatrick. In a similar situation, you were able to trade for Stephon Gilmore on an expiring contract. Minka is in the final year of his deal. You could send a 5th round pick over there for Minka Fitzpatrick right now, and I am sure it would work. Right? Aging player, expiring contract, a little expensive. That's about a 5th round pick. You got a 5th round pick you can give up for Minka right now. Right? So do one of your Dallas Cowboy moves. Trade a 5th for an Asian veteran that everybody like. They got name recognition, right? Trade a 5th for that. Sign you somebody like a Tariq Woolen, right? Go out and sign Joey Bosa or sign Trey Hendrickson. And then, of course, bring back Jadeveon Clowney. Sign Quincy Williams, right? Take the necessary steps to satiate your appetite so you don't go into the draft hungry. You know, have you a snack before you go to the draft so you don't be eating with your eyes. You know how Granny said you be just hungry, but you eating with your eye. You want everything you see. Don't be like that. Get you a snack or two before you go to the draft so you can be a picky eater when it's time to select at pick 12. Because at that point, you can realistically go BPA. You got people that are starting caliber players on your team now at each key position with a Tariq Woolen, with a Minka Fitzpatrick, with a Quincy Williams, you know, with a Joey Bosa or a Trey Hendrickson. You can go in and not be hungry at that point. If the best player available is a corner, you can still take him, but you ain't got to reach for one. If the best player available there is a wide receiver, let's say something stupid happens, you can still draft him. If it's a tight end, you can still draft him. If it's a pass rusher, you can still draft him. I want the Dallas Cowboys to position themselves to be able to select BPA by taking care of all your defensive needs in free agency. And then if it's still the case that the best player available is defense, take them. But I don't want you to reach. You needed a pass rusher when you drafted CeeDee Lamb. As I mentioned before, the guy the Dallas Cowboys were going to reach for, Chase him. And he got 10 career sacks in 6 seasons. He was not the answer. But because you were hungry and because you weren't hungry and because you were drafting BPA and CeeDee Lamb failed there, you did the right thing. You took the best talent. Right? And when you do it like that, you dodge debacles. Dodge the debacle before it happens. Dodge the debacle before it happens. Because you ain't need CeeDee Lamb. You had Amari Cooper. You had just seen Michael Gallup go for 1,100 yards. If you had re-signed, all you had to do was re-sign Randall Cobb. You could re-sign Randall Cobb and gave him a little bit of money, and you could have kept that nucleus of wide receivers together. You didn't need CeeDee Lamb, but he was the best player available. I want to go into every single draft with that mindset. I want to go to every single draft, you know, trying to go for that. Because when you're in position like that, you know, that's when you make mistakes. My boy Beige Boxer, I prayed we didn't draft Chasen. Prayers were answered. He had no sack production at LSU either. Yeah, that's why I be concerned. Like folks be talk about drafting dudes, they don't get sacks, and then they just automatically start getting sacks at the NFL level. I don't like that. Usually those guys don't be up to snub, man. I ain't gonna hold you. Usually those guys don't be up to par. But yeah, man. Put more questions in the chat box. I know I went down that rabbit hole, but you know, when y'all ask questions, I do everything in my power to answer them, man. when y'all got real deal questions and want to know, you know, if I don't have the answer, I'm going to go find it for you. Appreciate that, numbhead Neil. I appreciate you. I mean, he ain't better than Downs, but there's no guarantee you can get Downs. You cannot go into the draft picking at pick number 12, expecting to draft a top 5 player. If people are stupid and they let Caleb Downs fall to 12, of course draft him. But picking at 12, you cannot have your entire game plan be to draft a top 5 player in that draft. You know, if we needed a quarterback, the plan could not be wait to 12 and draft Mendoza. He's not going to be there. And I feel the same thing about Caleb Downs. Caleb Downs is amazing. Caleb Downs is dope. So Caleb Downs probably ain't going to be there at pick 12. You know what I mean? You still need a backup plan if the guy you know you won't be there. Nah. What makes you think he'll get past the Washington Commanders? And they got a history of loving safeties like that. Dan Quinn loves a safety like that. He that amazing he fall to the Dallas Cowboys? All right. It's possible, but it's not likely. That's all I'm going to say to that. And salute to my boy JR in the building. Damn deal. It said, and listen, to your point, Montana, if he is there, Mika don't stop you from drafting him. If Caleb Downs is there, you can have Caleb Downs and Mika Fitzpatrick. You don't have to have a one or the other thing, right? I hope Caleb Downs is there because, listen, I'm running up there, no shoes on so I can be faster. You know, you get faster when you take your shoes off. I'm running to the podium with no shoes, turn the card in, and I'm getting Caleb Downs. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to even talk to nobody else about it. It's a wrap. We are getting Caleb Downs without the situation. So I feel y'all. I 1,000% feel y'all. But yeah, I would definitely get Caleb Downs. And you know, even if I had made that move for Minka, now my safety room is just that much better. Right? And that's what you're afforded when you go out in free agency. I feel that. It said, I would love it if Orville Reese dropped because teams don't know what to do with him, but I can't bank on that. I agree. Let's talk about it. He said, do you have concerns at offensive tackle? Yes. Yes. I have concerns at offensive tackle. My biggest concern is Terrence Steele. Right? I just do not believe that Terrence Steele, in obvious passing situations, can hold up on a consistent basis. He has not shown me that he can do it. Now, I do agree with my brother Boss and my brother Lou. A lot of that you can game plan around. Like in a close game, when you don't have to get into those situations, you can run the football. You can utilize play action. You can give him some help, right? My concern, is 1 minute and 15 seconds left, one timeout. You got to drive the length of the field to score a touchdown. Can he hold up in those situations? Right? Can he hold up 2-minute drill? You got the ball with an opportunity to score points before the half, right? You need to throw the ball around to make it happen. Can he hold up in these obvious passing situations? And I don't think he can. I don't believe that he can, right? And those are gotta have it moments. Those are back against the wall moments. Those are game-defining moments. And in those situations, I need you to at least be serviceable as a pass blocker. he's damn near unplayable sometimes in passing situations when there's an obvious 5 or 7 step drop back. And that scares me. That scares me to death. You know, and they already had the conversation with Smith. They're not going to move him there full time. And that's the issue, though. Sometimes the route have to be long developing. Sometimes it's 3rd and 20. They fucked up. It's 3rd and 20. We done had a holding penalty and a drop pass. Like it's long. It's a long way to go. They got to go out there and run at least 21 yards to get the play. You know, like it's not going to be perfect every time. And what we're describing with Terrence Steele is shit got to be perfect for him to hang up. Salute to JR though, man. He said sign Minka, Woolen, and Oweh, then go draft. Yes, Jay Bryant, Oweh is an option in free agency. He is an option in free agency. He will be an unrestricted free agent if I'm not mistaken. I expect him to get an extension with the Chargers because I don't see them trading for him not to give him a contract. I don't think they traded away assets for, half a season worth of production. I would do it. I would give him a little bit of money. But I think he stays where he's at. I'm not sure it happens like that. But, we will see. But yes, he's a possibility. And those are good names. Trade for Minka, sign Woolen, sign Oweh. So who would be your linebacker you would get then, JR? Who would be your linebacker? Said, what if BPA at 12 or 20 is tackle? It would depend on what we did in free agency. I'll say that much. If we done plugged a lot of holes, because listen, if you got a good tackle at 20, if he's the best player there, take him still. If he's the best player available, you still take him there. All right, salute to Numbhead Neil with the $4.99 for your mind. Bro said, I haven't watched much of Up Downs, admittedly. Is he a versatile safety who played down as well back in coverage and there's no drop-off in either? He's great at everything. A lot of people believe because they play him in the box a lot that he can't do the sideline to sideline single high safety stuff. He can. It's just in the scheme that he played this year, he was asked to do a lot in the box. But he can do a lot, sideline to sideline. If you want him to be a split field safety, he can do that. If you want him to man up against a tight end or a slot, he can do that. If you want him to play single high safety and go sideline to make plays, he can do that. If you want him to be in the box close to the football and cause havoc, he can do that. Like, I don't really see a lot of flaws in his game. I don't. And listen, I had liked it, the safety out of Georgia last year. Caleb Down blows him out the water. I was talking about getting nobody with the first round pick last year. Caleb Downs blows everything I seen from him out the water. I like Downs. Said defensive BPA only for the first round picks. It depends. Because when you get to 20, let's be 1,000% real about the draft, right? Can we have an open conversation about how the draft usually transpires? There are 32 first round picks, and 9 times out of 10 there are not 32 guys that need to have first round grades. So when you get to pick 20, it gets to the point you just need to get the best nigga available. We can't be bougie at pick 20. Pick 20 and shit like that should always be BPA, because some drafts there's only 19 niggas that got a real first round grade. Some draft there are 20 niggas that got a real first round grade. Like, let's be 1,000. Some people are going to be first round picks just because they're 32 draft picks. A lot of these guys would not have first round grades outside of that. A lot of these guys are tweeners. A lot of these guys would probably be second round picks if there were less first round picks. So there aren't usually, that many guys with true first round grades in the draft. So when you get down to pick 20, you need to be BPA regardless of the position. You get down to 20 and the best nigga there is a wide receiver, you need to take their ass. Because there aren't usually that many people. For real. There aren't really that many niggas like that. If the best guy at 20 is a tackle, you take that nigga. The best guy at 20 is a running back, you take that nigga. Yeah, you seen the defense, we need to be bougie. We need to be bougie. I get it. I understand that thought process. But I also don't want to draft a dud. You know what I'm talking about? I don't want to draft a dud just to say I drafted defense. Remember what I said about not being horny. You need to get you some pussy before you go out. Or you need to bust you a nut before you go to the club. You don't need to go out there and you bring home a booger wooger. You bring home a booger wooger, who feet bigger than yours. You don't need to do that. No. Don't bring home Sasquatch because you made the mistake of going to the club horny and staying after hours. Thank you very much, Montana. That's my point. There ain't gonna be 32 niggas that deserve first round grades. Maji was a bit of a reach. Like some people had second round grades on Maji Smith. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get down to 20? Shit. I get it. You need defensive players. But you also need people that actually are going to work at the NFL level. And you increase your chances of doing that just by taking the best guy available. Maji Smith was not the best nigga available when we drafted. But he fit a need that we had, so we went with it. You know what I'm saying? There were better football players than Maji Smith when we took him. But we needed a defensive tackle, and he was the best run stopper on the board, by what he did in college. It just is what it is with Maji at this point. But I don't want to be in a situation like that. They said that's true, but they need a real HTM type of guy doing research, because there might be some sneakily amazing defensive players that fall to 20. I'm sure there will be. I'm not sitting here telling you there won't be a good defensive player at 20. I don't want to pass that message around. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is we should be open-minded in the back end of the first round to who is the highest rated player on their board. I would rather them take who they believe is the best player than making it a reach. If we're at 20 and we got a guy with a true first round grade there, but it's not really a need, I don't want them to like, hey, we got a second round pick. We got a second round grade on this guy, but we don't pick in the second round, so let's reach and grab him. I don't want that. Hold on. Salute to my brother King G in the building, man. He had hit me with a cash app. He said, for driving right now, keep that fire coming. I appreciate that, bro. Listen, y'all know the mantra. If you pay, I will stay. But I will not hold you. Because I got a doctor's appointment, I can give you about another 50 minutes. But then after that, we'll have to shut it down. Because I realistically do got to take my ass to my doctor's appointment to get seen about, to make sure I get a clean bill of health so I can come back out here talking my shit for another 50, 60, 70, 80 years. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But I appreciate you. So, we're going to keep rocking. We're going to keep rolling. I appreciate y'all for supporting the show. There's 94 people in here listen to me ramble on about the Dallas Cowboys. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put a poll up. I'm gonna put a poll up. I'm gonna do some extra work this year. You know, if y'all gonna support. Do you want? Hold on. I need to go in here and actually do a poll. I'm gonna ask y'all because I love y'all. I love y'all dearly. So I'm gonna start a poll on this bitch. Hold on. Let me remember how to do it because I'm tripping right now. How do I start a poll again? Let me see. Where my poll shit at? Hold on. Y'all bear with me. I feel like a caveman because I normally put a poll in the bitch all the time, and now when I really thinking and trying to find the bitch, I can't even see it. There it go. There it go. I see it now. And salute to King G for the other Cash App, man. For take care of their health. We appreciate you. I appreciate y'all, man. Thank you for the love, King G. Matter of fact, hell, that shit gonna go to my copay, so I appreciate you. All right, here it go. We're gonna start a poll. Do you want me to make a big board for my top 50? A draft. There it go. Y'all let me know. If y'all want, cause listen, we're gonna do Cowboys College. Me and Landlord are still gonna do Cowboys College. It is going to be primarily members only. We're gonna show college film on there. Right? Hell yeah, I got a new mic. This is actually a gift from my daddy. My daddy and my mama. Like this was a Christmas gift. I had bought myself another mic, and then I regifted that mic to my son because he needed one. So this is my Christmas gift from my family. So I appreciate them, and I'm putting that to good use. Bet. Let's do that too. We can do that too. we can do that too, man. We definitely can do that. But yeah, let me know. Because we're going to do Cowboys College. A lot of it is going to be on the members only chat. We're going to be member only live because we're going to show college film. And they be flagging the shit out of us. Taking it down and all kind of shit. So we're going to do members only Cowboys College. But we'll still do some college content, you know, in a roundabout way. You know, we'll do some stuff to where we talk college guys in a macro sense and not getting into the details and the fine nuke. But yeah, like the deep dive stuff will be for members only. So if you don't have a membership just yet, you know, y'all make sure y'all get memberships. So yeah, that's how we're gonna do Cowboys College. The film work is gonna be members only, so that they don't take our YouTube pages away from us. And then we'll do like some overall breakdowns and analytical stuff on them, you know, on the main pages, so y'all can see that. So, but y'all make sure that y'all get the memberships so that y'all can tap in with the liquor store and the trap when we start Cowboys College. Matter of fact, when we do our first show, before we do our first show, I will give y'all a week advance so that y'all can get memberships. Because I want a majority of y'all to come on there. And memberships ain't expensive. If y'all send super chats and y'all send cash apps, they're probably less expensive than the cash apps and the super chats. You know what I'm saying? For the memberships. You know, we ain't trying to you know, run your pockets or nothing like that. We just trying to give y'all that kind of content and not get, you know, slimed out by YouTube. So, you know, I think that's a good trade-off. You know, for the price of a super chat, y'all can get memberships. So y'all make sure y'all get memberships in the liquor store and the trap before we do Cowboys College. He said, wonder if Chubbs is still available for trade. Miami might be in rebuild. He said, when it start, I'm going to check with landlord and see his schedule. It's going to start, and remember, we're trying to send landlord down to Mobile so that he can cover the Senior Bowl. So I don't think we're going to start Cowboys College until we get the Senior Bowl out the way. So we'll probably start Cowboys College, like the first or second week in February. That's so sad. Now listen, we might be able to find a way to gift you a membership, JV. We might be able to find a way to gift you a membership. So don't threat. We'll figure that out for you, JV. We'll figure that out for you. Because I think that we might be able to gift you one. And salute to Jeffrey, man, for his support with the Cash App. I thank you. But yeah, that's how we gonna do it. And y'all ain't bullshitting. Beware of baby nut hugging. Because I want to tell you this right now. Regardless of who we draft, y'all grown ass men, I ain't talking to y'all. I ain't talking to my people. We know who we talking about. There will be grown ass men putting the weight of the world on the shoulders of niggas that just came out of college. I know they get paid now, but a lot of these niggas used to eat free lunch. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys were going to the Caddo, and getting the chicken and the steak. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys, some of these niggas ain't even have scholarships. They just worked their asses up and got to where they is. Like, we cannot put the weight of the world on the shoulders of these kids because the Dallas Cowboys are cheap. We got to be on the Dallas Cowboys' ass. We going to have to be on the Dallas Cowboys' ass so that they do what they need to do in free agency. So we got some vets. We don't need no new booty, fresh out of college ass kids coming in here being the leader of the defense. None of that whole shit. We need veterans on this team to show these young kids how to be professionals in the NFL level. We need veterans on this team to be mentors and help these guys, transition. We need veterans on this teams to show these guys how to operate from a day-to-day basis in the National Football League and not fall into pitfalls and traps and be positive influences on these guys coming in. If I draft David Bailey, I need somebody like Jadeveon Clowney and Joey Bosa to show him how to be a professional pass rusher. Like, these young guys are going to need big brothers. The Dallas Cowboys need big brothers for every draft pick they bring in here. So if you want to bring in a cornerback, his big brother cannot be Siobhan Revel. The Ron Bland might qualify, but the Ron Bland be hurt so much he don't be present. You need a big brother for the cornerback you draft. You need a big brother for that pass rusher you draft. You need a big brother for that linebacker you draft. If you draft a safety, he need a big brother. You need somebody to help and walk with them and show them how this shit goes down. And kudos to my brother King G. He said, I'm gifting memberships when it starts. So if y'all in here, remind me. We're going to remind everybody. Before Cowboys College starts, we will make sure to let y'all know so y'all can get memberships. We will make sure that y'all get memberships, so that y'all can lock in. Oh shit, hold on. Ricky has spoken. And it's not something, and it kind of sort of got to do with us. Ricky has spoken. So I got a plane to build while it's in the air. So y'all give me 2 seconds, man. He said you'll take Newey Scruggs before we take Bosa. Fuck it. Hey, I'm down with bringing in any veteran. If Khalil Mack still got juice, and I listen, we'll look at him. Like we got all 22 film on everybody. So before we do the draft shit, we should do all 22 film on these guys. I agree with y'all. Let's take a closer look and not just stat sheet look. You know what I'm saying? Let's take a closer look at how they played. So I am not mad at either one. I'm not mad at that. So that's how you feel. Like, hey, fuck him. I want to get Khalil Mack. I'm down. I'm fine with that. That makes sense. I understand. I'm reasonable. Because it still fits into the big brother mindset. You know what I mean? As long as they end up with big brothers, it does not really matter who the big brother is. Do not matter who the big brother is, man. I'm down with that. All right, I'm gonna add this in because when Ricky be talking, you know, about stuff, I be liking to add Ricky stuff in here. If you don't know who Ricky is, he is the insider, the rogue insider, I should say, with the dog profile picture. He leaked the George Pickens trade before it happened. He leaked the Michael Parsons trade before it happened. He leaked a bunch of shit. Like, he leaked the CeeDee Lamb extension. You know? He leaked the Osa Odigizua extension. And listen, it's nothing player related too. So I don't want to get y'all hopes up talking about this like he's talking about a player. So no. He's talking about a position, a head coaching position getting filled. And like I said, there's a butterfly effect, you know, when these coaching jobs get filled. And this is exactly what we talked about earlier. This is exactly what I talked about earlier with Jeff Ulbrich. So Ricky has reported, barking rumor, hearing that Josh Williams is the current favorite for the Falcons general manager position. If hired, look for him to possibly bring in Robert Saleh as coach. Matt Ryan prefers a head coach with previous experience. Stefanski has also been linked to the opening. Nick Harris shared it and said this: the Robert Saleh scenario would theoretically put Jeff Ulbrich on the open market. The Cowboys would give him a serious look. So expect that to be another domino that falls in the Dallas Cowboys coaching search. Because remember, Jeff Ulbrich was somebody that they wanted beforehand. They wanted Jeff Ulbrich during the first initial wave of interviews. But Atlanta blocked it. They said, fuck no. You can't talk to my DC. He ain't going nowhere. But Robert Saleh is a defensive-minded coach. Robert Saleh is probably going to call the defense himself. Robert Saleh is probably going to bring somebody with him to fulfill the defensive coordinator position. Jeff Ulbrich at that point would be expendable for the Atlanta Falcons, and he would be on the open market. Because he could very possibly be free, and because the Dallas Cowboys have previously shown interest in acquiring his services, or at least interviewing him, that is something to be on the lookout for, as I and Nick Harris have both stated. Right? He said, would Saleh probably want to keep him since he was his DC with the Jets? It's a possibility, but I don't think, it's that cut and dry. I think Robert Saleh is possibly going to want to bring somebody else in. And listen, to your point, he already went down that road. Like, yeah, you were my DC with the Jets. It didn't work. If it had worked, I would have still been the head coach over there. You know, it is what it is with that. But I believe it might be a small possibility, but I don't think that Robert Saleh want to go back down that rabbit hole. I think Robert Saleh want to have a brand new, fresh start. I do think when you listen, it's never a given to get another head coaching job. It's never a given to get another head coaching opportunity this soon after it fizzled out with the Jets. I think he want to try some stuff differently. I think he would like to try some stuff differently. He said, start with free agency film, then go draft content. Salute to JR for the super chat as well. We probably will. We probably will. I'm sure that we're going to. I'm sure that I'm sure that's the course I'll take, because I want y'all to see the free agents and not just me break down the analytical side of it, right? We all know that film and analytics go hand in hand. The analytics and the numbers are what happened, but the film is the why. You know, the film shows you why that happened. The numbers are just the outcome. You give up a 40-yard touchdown, that's the outcome. The why is, I slipped. I slipped on the play. I got too handsy. I fell down. He got behind me. It was over. Right? That's the why if you watch the film. The outcome is the 40-yard touchdown, but the film shows the why and how that happened. My boy said an IOU for $10, brother. Keep rocking. I'm a rock until 1 o'clock, and then I'm a dip and go to my doctor's appointment. I can rock with y'all till about 1, and then I'm gonna have to go to my doctor's appointment. So we're gonna put that towards that for this final 30 minutes, and I appreciate you, Devin. Exactly. And listen, we interviewed Robert Saleh, did we not? Did we not interview Robert Saleh at one point? Did we not interview Robert Saleh? Let me see if I can find this shit. Okay, we interviewed Robert Saleh for the head coaching job. Okay, we interviewed him for the head coaching job. So yeah, so I like Saleh's defensive pedigree. I like his defensive pedigree. Thank you. Yeah, we did. Okay, I had to Google it, but yeah. Bet. We'll do that. Build your list of best free agents to fix this shit. Show up a defense, then use film for confirmation. We'll do that. We'll definitely do that. Cause we'll show the all 22 film. We'll just, we'll navigate that shit. They might try and block out the channel. I mean, to block out the stream or some shit. So we'll mitigate that. But listen, when we do that show and we show the footage of the available free agents, make sure that y'all show out with the donations on that one. There will be no ad revenue on that one. Because we'll be showing copyrighted images of the NFL. They don't play about the all 22 film no more for some reason. But yeah, that could be something to watch. I really don't even know how I feel about Ubrich. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how I feel about Ubrich because I think, if I'm not mistaken, both times that he was a DC, he shared some of the coordinator duties. Last time I checked, I could be wrong, but the last time I checked, I think Jeff Ubrich shared, some of that with Raheem Morris. I think that Raheem Morris called defense on third down, and I believe that Robert Saleh called the defense with the Jets as well. So I could be mistaken. I want to go fact check that, but I am curious of what the fuck I would actually get from him, if he became the coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm gonna have to go and fact check all of that, look at the analytics and everything. Okay, so we did share the responsibilities. So how much of the good shit and how much of the bad shit are we giving him then? If he is if he's just a co-pilot, then how much credit do you give him for flying the plane? His son pranked Shedeur Sanders. I remember that because he could have keep secretive information hidden, so I'm out on him. Yep. I said, whose tree is Ubrich from? I don't know. Let me look at that. Who would you want as the Cowboys DC, Henny? I want, listen, the guys I want we're not going to get, but I'm going to name them. No particular order. Brian Flores, Raheem Morris, Jim Schwartz, Durante Jones, Christian Parker. Hell, I take Jim Leonard. I take, there's a lot of guys I would take. I just don't know how many of them were reasonable or how many of them will actually end up in the final round. I know the guys that I don't want. Like, there's a bigger list of niggas that I do not want than there is of guys that I do want. I don't want Aaron Whitecotton. Fuck no to Jonathan Gannon. Fuck no, to the boy from the Packers. I forget his name because I deleted a lot of that shit to make room for these slides. The boy from the Packers defensive line coach that we interviewed, I don't want him. There's a lot of guys I don't want, So it's probably a bigger list of candidates that we can just swipe left on than guys that I want to bring in. Yes, indeed. All right, so I tell you what. Since we have limited time left, let's do one more round of Q&A, and then I'm going to jump off of here. But I told my brother boss, when I came back from my doctor's appointment, I would lace him up, and we come right back and give y'all more content. Now, I can't guarantee it'll be another 3-hour show. George, please learn how to keep my dick out your mouth. Please learn how to not be a chronic dick sucker. Please learn not how to be a pathetic piece of shit. Please learn, how to do more than hoeing like your mama taught you. Please learn how to get some money. Please learn how to talk to women. Please learn how to wash your ass because you smell like outside and the bottom of my dog's foot. Please learn how to shut the fuck up in the liquor store unless you're talked to, nigga. Please learn how to dig up your dead granny because that bitch need to die. Please learn. Hold on, I'm sorry. Salute to Jimmy Bidden with the $18 cash app, for the film breakdown. Oh, that's JR, man. Salute to my nigga JR, man. I appreciate you. Please learn that we put belt to ass to hoe niggas when they come to the liquor store. Don't you ever in your life tell me to learn how to talk, nigga. Learn how to get some money, you broke bitch. If you had some motion, you had some bread, you wouldn't be in my chat box trolling, hoe. Fuck out of here, man. But yeah, please learn that, hoe. It said, health is wealth, my brother. I pray all is well during your visit. I pray as well. I'm just saying, man, niggas ain't shit in real life and then come on the internet and try and talk crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, life is good over here. Life is good over here, man. We got big boy cars. You know what I'm saying? We homeowners and shit. You know, we got shit going on, man. Our children well taken care of, nigga. I don't know what fuck nigga be talking about. Coming over here trolling. Get your shit together, man. Hey, if you need Uncle Sam, nigga, if you need Uncle Sam, don't come talk to Uncle Henny. That's all I gotta say. If you need Uncle Sam, don't come over here trolling Uncle Henny, man. That's all I gotta tell you. That's all I gotta say. Man, listen, sometimes Jay Giacovelli, that's why we don't have sponsors. Y'all the sponsors. Y'all sponsor this shit. Y'all sponsor the Henny. Y'all sponsor Henny. Y'all sponsor the liquor store, man. Y'all sponsor us, man. Fuck the sponsors. They ain't gonna show us no love. Fuck them niggas too. Shit. Y'all the sponsors. So it's really love for y'all. Like, y'all the sponsors. I think about y'all. I don't think about none of the hoe ass niggas that ain't trying to show no love to us. Do what you feel. He said, gotta pay to troll. Shout out to Law. Hey, shout out to Law, man. I said, I thought Herbert was going to quit. Chargers O-line got him killed, but we don't even put a finger on the man. Complete overhaul needed. You need defensive line. You need a linebacker. You need cornerback help. You need safety help. You need improved safety play. You need a lot of shit. You need a lot of shit to go right. You need a lot of shit to go right for this defense. That's why we're taking this defensive coordinator shit so serious. Folks think we're complaining. You know, folks think we're being melodramatic. You know, folks think that we're being extra. Like, you have to get this shit right. You do not have a long time of having Dak Prescott as your quarterback. You do not have a prolonged period of time that you're going to have Dak Prescott here. You got 2 to 3 years max of Dak Prescott. You got 2 to 3 years max of Dak Prescott. You need to have a defense in place the next 3 years that give you a legitimate opportunity to compete while the man is still here and the man is still healthy and playing top level football. Because after that, you cannot trust the front office to find you another quarterback. This is the same front office that wanted Paxton Lynch. This is the same front office that wanted Connor Cook. This is the same front office that wanted Johnny Manziel. They do not have a good enough track record. They don't have a good enough track record. This is the same front office that wanted Max Duggan. They wanted Max Duggan. Max Duggan got benched. Max Duggan got benched in the UFL. And they wanted him to be your quarterback. And salute to Trey Live, man. He said, keep up the good work, my guy. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you for the support, for rocking with me in the liquor store, man. Thank you so much for everything that y'all do, man. If it wasn't for y'all, man, we wouldn't be able to go so hard, man. Like, listen, if I had to adhere to sponsors, I would not be able to cuss these people out the way I do. If I had to be buttoned up, I wouldn't be able to call out, janky radio stations and water carriers and dick pullers. You know what I'm saying? If I had to stay buttoned up, I couldn't do the things that I do, man. So shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for supporting the liquor store the way that y'all do. For real, man. Because I know I do a lot of fussing and cussing and everything else, but I also give you analytics. We also give you film breakdowns. We also give you realistic scenarios. We talk football, man. So I appreciate y'all for everything y'all do. For real. This show works because y'all help, man. For real. Salute to Dwayne Morris in the building, too. Said, hey, Henny. Salute, man. Thank you for tapping in and showing love. Thank you for the support. Hey, the truth be funny as hell too. There's always a lot of humor in the truth. I think that's why me and Lan get along so well. We got the same kind of humor. Like shit be dark sometimes, but shit be funny. Like for real. For real. Alright. I'm gonna get ready now. We're at the 2 hour and about 40-minute mark. We're gonna round up. I'm gonna go to my doctor's appointment. I'm gonna get a clean bill of health. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna do some more content for y'all with Boss. I'm gonna also make sure that I drop this video for the members. I'm going to do everything in my power to finish the editing and shit on this members only video so I can get that dropped for y'all before the day is over with. So thank y'all for everything. Thank y'all for showing up and showing out. I'll be back after my doctor's appointment, and we will rock with y'all. Thank y'all. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And in the words of my brother West Coast Cowboy, man, never look down because the star is up. Peace.